like, so this is a pretty wild day, man. Because I was expecting it to be a chill. Craven came out, like we were going to talk about Craven, and then we get this news like an hour before we freaking record. I text Jerry in all caps, and Jerry's just like, "What the frick?" So, bro, how do you feel about this news that Chris Evans is coming back?
I'm torn because there are so many good actors, okay? And I am not one of the people who've been saying, oh, we need the OGs back. Like, that is not me, okay? I am okay with new and different characters. First of all, I don't think he's coming back as Captain America. There's no way that they are giving Sam Wilson a Captain America movie and they are going to just, like, if you were Anthony Mackie and they were bringing back Steve Rogers as Captain America, first of all, a lot of fans would be pissed. Second of all, it would mean Captain America 4 is irrelevant. Sam Wilson's character is irrelevant. Like, that would be outright just disrespectful and unethical to do to Anthony Mackie as an actor. So I don't think that's what they're doing. I do think that he is going to be playing a major character that hasn't been in the MCU yet. I'm sure, people are going to be saying, oh, it might be Cyclops. Oh, it might be Magneto. We have no idea. But if we're going off of RDJ, it's going to be someone big, like someone who is, one of the biggest characters in the Marvel Universe, period. I'm torn, though. I don't think that it's the best idea. I really don't. I don't know how much I like it. I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm not saying that if the movie's great, I'm going to complain. I do think the movie's going to be great regardless if RDJ and Chris Evans are in it. But I would like to see Marvel cast actors that we haven't seen necessarily be major. Like, I would rather see people like Mads Mikkelsen. And I know some people are like, oh, well, Jerry, Mads was in the MCU too. Yeah, Mads was in a one-and-done villain. He wasn't even that big of a deal in that movie. Doctor Strange, obviously. It's much different than taking Captain America and recasting him, okay? But there are other actors out there. I would like to see new talent in the MCU. And the other thing that I'm torn about here is, the whole point of the fans and what everyone has been saying about RDJ. I think that it's a pretty fair split. I think there's a lot of fans like Stevie and I who are happy to see RDJ back as Doom. I think I differ from Stevie on one thing where I say I still would have preferred to see Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Doom. Stevie, I think, disagrees with that, which is fine, but there's a lot of fans that don't want to see RDJ back and have been saying things like Marvel is creatively bankrupt. They can't do anything without the OG actors. And they were already saying that heavily from RDJ. And now, obviously, they are doubling down with the news of Steve Rogers' actor, Chris Evans. But here's the thing. I always say I would like for them to not listen to fans, period. I think most fans say, like, the noise from the fandom is mostly stupid, uninformed, has no idea what they're talking about. And then you get a couple people with a YouTube like us or people who actually know what they're talking about and read the comics. I always say, listen, if I had to have Marvel listen to no fans and that include us, I would take it any day of the week. So I kind of like the attitude of Marvel saying, we don't really care what anyone's saying. We're doing what we believe in. I think it's important for them to have that attitude. I just wish it was something else that I saw differently. But I still do think Doomsday is going to come out. I think it's going to be incredible. And I think that anyone who's complaining about Chris Evans and RDJ, myself included, and I'm not complaining like everyone else is, but I do see the validity to a lot of people's complaints with that. I think Stevie doesn't sympathize with that perspective as much as I do. I'm not saying I share this perspective completely, but I definitely do sympathize with it, and I do see where they're coming from. But Stevie, what do you think? And what do
You
you
know
think
me very
about?
well, man. You know
I know.
me. Jerry, yo, if you guys know, Jerry knows every move in my book. I'm telling you, Jerry knows my takes before I say them because he knows me. So I, you know, I love this idea. I think it's dope. Like I was hype. Um, I honestly thought that I honestly was expecting more of a Secret Wars appearance than him appearing in Doomsday. That honestly shocked me more than anything because I really was expecting Doomsday to be more of like a RDJ Doom Center thing where he's like the center of it. And I still think that's possible, but the fact that it is announced that Chris Evans back and that the role that he is in, no one that like they went out of their way to say this is a thank you for reminding me about that. And for them to go out of their way, bro, and say like, hey, like we don't we don't necessarily know what he's going to be casted as yet. It's like it just shows you that he's not going to be casted as Captain America. There's no way. And if you guys know, we use titles like these to attract people, you know what I mean, for the algorithm, etc. But
We
but
don't
yeah.
have to admit to that. We don't have to.
Oh really? Oh yeah. I think he's gonna be Captain America. But no, but Joseph Sado, like I think that I think this is a smart decision from Marvel because like people gotta understand, bro, they're playing it safe. This is a really big movie. A lot is on the line and on the table with Avengers Doomsday, and I mean they're just going with another guy that's tried and true, a guy that helped them gross one of their first $1 billion films of all time. And when you have the power team of RDJ and Chris Evans, I mean that's a successful movie already. So I think that from a business standpoint, it is very smart. And look, at the end of the day, fans are always going to cry about stuff. So you just got to do it as what Jerry said earlier. You got to go with what you think is going to work and with what you believe in. Because at the end of the day, people are still the same people that complain are the same people that are going to watch this movie no matter what. Like no matter what, they're buying tickets and they're going to freaking see it. And so that's just kind of where I'm at. So I think it's a good decision. Now, I do have a lot of questions from a story standpoint where a Chris Evans character would fit, because I wouldn't be happy if they went with the Hydra cap or something like that. I mean, RDJ Dr. Doom is something that came out of left field. Nor Jerry, nor I, nor anybody on this YouTube platform ever thought about the idea of RDJ coming back as Dr. Doom. So if you bring back Chris Evans, it has to be a casting that no one has talked about ever. And that's what I'm more excited about than more so like just the idea of him being in it. It's like, okay, what character is he going to play? And I do think that is, as I said before, I think it's a creative way to bring him back because look, I mean, we would have been happy if he did come back as maybe a Steve from another Earth, but still though, that's uncreative. That's something that Jerry and I could write at freaking home. We could write a plot for that, right?
Like,
Yeah. So
I've seen people saying,
yeah.
"Oh, Hydra, Captain America." Listen, I would love to see Hydra, Captain America. Now is not the time for that. And if you're going to do it with Sam Wilson. You've made Sam Wilson Captain America. You want to do something like that? Sam Wilson, Captain America. I have a major prediction that you could all take to the bank right here. First of all, if you haven't watched my video on what is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday, you should check that out. But I should have added into that video that Avengers Doomsday is going to end on a major cliffhanger. Why is it going to end on a major cliffhanger, Jerry? Because it made Endgame the big bucks. When there's 2 points here. Number one, it was the big cliffhanger. Everyone had to know how the Avengers were coming back from being dusted by the Infinity Gauntlet. Number one. Number two, it took over social media. Everything, your whole feed was Infinity Dust for like a week. So those are the types of things that sell tickets to sequels. And obviously, Secret Wars is going to have to live up to that. But I'll tell you a little bit about the video that I did just because to fill people in and hopefully get you to want to watch the full thing. But basically, Avengers Doomsday is going to be the Doomsday event of Secret Wars. So Avengers Secret Wars comes directly after a long Avengers run comic series where the Illuminati build a device called the antimatter injection system. And they do this because the incursions are happening where two Earths collide. Either both of them explode and die, or one explodes and dies, and the other survives. So Tony Stark was like, we got to do what we can to make sure our Earth survives. So Reed comes up with this thing called the antimatter injection system. They plant it on the other planet. That's the idea. And they explode the other planet so the collision doesn't take place. The incursions happen. The final incursion happens, which is between their Earth and another Earth. And that last incursion, which is their Earth's incursion, is what's going to take place in Doomsday, the Doomsday event of their incursion. And I do think that the cliffhanger is going to revolve around Doctor Doom taking patches of planets that were destroyed in the incursions and creating Battleworld. And Secret Wars is going to take place on Battleworld. And, you know, Battleworld, you have to understand, like, you know, we've been talking about alternate realities and all this for a long time now through the multiversal saga. Battleworld is like the ultimate alternate reality. It's completely different than anything you could imagine. Secret Wars is incredible. You should read it, but you should actually read the full Avengers saga that precedes it by Jonathan Hickman, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to read Secret Wars. And a lot of creators that I really respect and talk to, some of them are like, oh, I'm reading Secret Wars now, and they haven't read the Avengers run. That event, that Secret Wars, you're not getting the most out of it if you don't read the Avengers run that leads into it.
Avengers is better than any other comic I've read in my life.
The Hickman one. I told you, it's the best comic of all time.
No, it's goated. It's goated.
And Secret Wars
is Batman comic, nothing, bro. Nothing touches that ever.
And Secret Wars is the swan song now. And by the way, you know, if you were looking at the MCU right now and we told you that the best comic of all time is what the MCU should be doing right now, and it's not, it's that much crazier what's going on in the MCU.
100%. Yeah, so we are like, we're obviously happy about it, but we just hope that, like, it's similar to what RDJ is like. It's something that we would never think of. And with the Russos, they're OGs in this game. They've been doing this for a long time. I have hope that they're going to give us something out of left field. And to be honest, I don't want to hear who he is until the freaking trailer. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see anything.
I do think we're going to hear about it sooner than that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just because
they kept RDJ Doom under wraps, though, man, for a minute, bro.
Maybe. I'll tell you. Actually, I will say, because there's a couple moving pieces here. 2025 has a big MCU slate. If that slate goes well and they're not desperate for positivity amongst fans online, we'll wait till they'll have us wait till the trailer. But if one movie gets a bad reception amongst fans, they're gonna pull the cat out of the hat, or whatever the magic phrase is, and reveal who Chris Evans is playing, because it's all about their reputation, news, buzz. That stuff matters. I mean, just look at what happened to the Flash movie. So
yeah,